You're listening to the Beige Phillip Show with Dante Nero on the Riotcast Network, riotcast.com.
What's up, Square Pimplegate? On this episode, we got Mike Lasher, good friend of mine, up-and-coming comic. We talk about being married and how to stay married and not necessarily pimping.
That's right.
Being
but also, square pimping, being a pimp in marriage, not just forgetting about all the stuff you're supposed to do when you're married. And also, what happens when you find out somebody is disingenuous and how that affects your view of that person and all that good stuff.
Yeah, this was good. This was a little more technical. I had a good time with this.
And also, come out, Capital Wrestling, November 17th. I will be hosting the Capital Wrestling Carnival. It's going to be fantastic. Wrestling, candied apples, popcorn, all that jazz. Come on out. It's going to be super fun. Check it out.
Let's get into it.
The sexual revolution is being podcasted. You are now tuned in to
Beige Phillip.
Let's go! Relationships and sex is the only two things that a guy is supposed to be good at when he has no practice. And then you're told not to be womanizer, to get the practice that you need to be good at.
Genius. True wisdom is the understanding of underlying concepts, how they relate to situations that seem irrelevant, but really are not. Superb.
As a man, you have to be strong enough to protect yourself from her emotions. You have to be strong enough to protect your relationship from her emotions. And that means to look at everything and assess it in terms of what's real and what's not real and what's just her emotional state at the time. Perfect. If you want to know how to hunt a deer, you ask the hunter. You don't ask the deer. The deer is being the deer. He doesn't know anything else but how to be. She's just being her. As a hunter, I need to study her patterns and her behaviors so that I can put this bullet in her. And by the bullet, I mean this dick.
You know the rest.
Like, we all get got. Everybody gets got. Everybody goes through these bad situations, these relationships, and we try to learn from it. And sometimes we're too close to it that we can't even step back and learn from it. What's going on? GYBB, get your balls back. BABB, be a better bitch. WWDD, what would Dante do? The sexual revolution is being podcasted, and I am excited.
Finally.
And this is another special show. Now, I know that I've said that every show is special before, but this time I'm meaning it.
Wow. All right.
God damn it. How you doing, Harry? You good?
I'm doing great, man. I'm having the time of my life, styling and profiling.
Woo!
Having a tough time keeping these alligators down.
It is difficult. But with a little practice, you can keep them down.
I think so.
Very impressive. You've been very impressive. But let's get into our guest a little bit. Funny dude, good friend of mine, doing comedy clubs and shit all over the place. I like this dude. That's why he's here. I don't like bringing on people. I don't bring nobody if I don't like them.
That's true.
Very funny dude. It's been impressing me a lot. And that's a big thing when I'm impressed by a comic. That's true. That is the thing.
You don't give that out easily.
I don't like nobody.
Now, you won't give out a lot of praise.
Give it up for Mike Lasher, yo. Give it up for Mike Lasher.
It's good to be here, bruh.
Good to be. Good to have you. Good to have you.
Got me hyped with this intro.
Oh, yeah.
I'm all fired up now.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Oh, man. Good to have you here, brother. Thank you
man,
for
it's
coming.
Good to be here. Thanks for those kind words.
Yeah, man. I am. I don't throw that around.
Yeah.
I mean, you know that, right?
I know, man.
Yeah, I shit on a lot of people.
Yeah, I know. Probably after I get up and leave, but
I will shit on. I don't throw that. I don't never throw that around if I'm not.
I feel you.
So it is what it is. I mean, it's funny because it just started. I'd be up in stand up in New York, and I would see Mike around, and Mike kind of looked at him. Initially, Mike was like, I don't know, like he was a little apprehensive.
Yeah, I think that's the general approach with you, Dante. When you first meet him, it was like, this dude looks like he might kill me, but nah.
Yeah, I kind of look at Harry. Were you making faces for Harry?
No, it's interesting. Listen, Dante is the character. If you don't know Dante Nero, the outfit, the the comic book character that is Dante
yeah.
could be very scary and daunting. The first time I met Dante, I was I was only younger by a year. But I didn't know how much.
Yeah.
Oh, you just assume he has a presence of somebody who's been around, even as a new guy. So the first thing he says, he's talking about Todd Lynn. God bless his soul. R.I.P.
And
Todd
fuck him. I piss on his grave.
Todd Lynn, who had a habit of causing a lot of problems because in the world of comedy,
but
most
lost
people aren't going to fight
now.
back. Yeah.
So
most people aren't going to fight back in comedy, right? It's a lot of pussies telling a lot of jokes. But Dante Nero wasn't one of them because the first thing I see is him going, let me tell you something about that motherfucker. You could tell him that if he costs me 1 penny with his mouth, I'm going to find him. I'm going to break his jaw. That was the first time I met Dante Nero. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to say hello. I'm just going to stay over here.
I was like, I will find him, come to his house, and break his jaw in his living room.
Yeah.
So that was a little.
It's very specific.
Well, I remember it differently, but that's fine. I think the greater point is that you threaten somebody's life, and I think that's what doesn't get lost. That was the first
sweetheart, though.
And then later on, Dante was, just always very nice and polite. It was just that one moment, and then my ultimate memory of Dante is outside of stand-up New York when I brought my girlfriend with me at the time, and Dante was just sitting there eating a bag of candy. Going, you want a gummy?
You want a gummy bear?
You want a gummy bear?
You want a gummy cherry? I got gummy cherries.
I was like, oh, that's Dante.
Oh,
lovable Dante.
Lovable Dante.
Yeah. Dante is a very nice dude, but I could see somebody new being scared of him.
Yeah. Well, I think when you're new in general, you're intimidated by
everybody.
By pretty much anyone who's established. And then Dante is wearing all the silver and there's a Hummer with his face on it. So
yeah, it could be. I could see how it would be like. What is this about?
Yeah.
I remember looking at Mike and I was like, and I was like, why is he looking at me weird? Like I'd look up at Mike and Mike would look down. He's like, I'm not looking at you, and I'm like,
yeah. It was like you and Yamanika. I met you both like back to back. So
that's
it was like
that's a lot. That's a lot for one night.
Yeah.
The first night I met Yamanika, I gave her a ride somewhere, and she spent the entire phone call yelling at somebody. Like, this is the first night I met this girl, giving her a ride to the New York Comedy Club, and the entire time going, who the fuck you think you are? You out of your fucking mind? Just
you
on
think
the phone
I'm playing, motherfucker?
As I'm hitting a turn signal, waiting at a red light, going, okay.
Yeah, right. This is fun.
Alrighty then.
This is my girl, Yams. Shout out to Yams. Shout out to Pops too. Miss you, babe. It was cool because meeting him and then I'm how I am. I'm like, I gotta see this motherfucker do comedy first. I'm making that face like I don't know. And then I was like, oh, all right, that was okay, all right. Yeah, all right.
You don't want to waste your time.
No.
If somebody's not good. You don't.
Yeah, I don't want to remember somebody's name that I'm gonna have to forget later.
Right.
Yeah.
You also, if you can avoid it, being friends with somebody who's not funny, it makes it easier.
Yeah, because you can't. That's the worst thing in the world as a comic. If you hanging out, if your boy is not funny, and you got to walk around and talk about comedy with him, you're like, yeah.
I don't know if I'm trying to think if I know anybody who I'm close with that I would say. I mean, there's people that you go, all right, whatever, but. I'm trying to think if in my crew of people, if I know somebody who's not funny, I don't think I can.
You can't do it.
You got to ghost them, man.
I think so. I mean, you just keep your distance. You say, hey, and keep it moving. But I don't know if you can bring them in to the crew.
In New York, it's easy to kind of slowly fade someone out.
Mike, but you hang around some shitty comics. You tell me.
No
hey, man, we building our base right now.
He has no choice. He has no choice. He's in basic training.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing it, Mike?
I've been doing it about 5 years.
Okay.
So,
in
New York,
there's a lot of shitty comics in that.
There's some people starting to pop a little bit, though. Our crew's all right. Our crew's better than most.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a couple of the guys just got late night and stuff like that, so at least it's a little bit.
There you go. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, but are they funny? Because late night don't mean don't let me start rattling off names. We should have never got late night.
We did that. We've done that before. I still got to see some of these people. You don't hang out in those rooms.
Yeah, I got it.
Some of those people don't come out to the comedy club.
It's really horrible. There's a lot of but I think
I still got to run into those people and their spouses. So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. That's hard.
That's hard.
Yeah, because
it's almost worse to run into the spouse.
Yeah. And like, he stinks. Shut up. And I don't. I'm not giving you that.
It's always also weird when you like one in a couple. Where you like the spouse better than you like that other person? You like one person better when
Mike's
two of them are
wife
doing
is
comedy?
dope.
Yeah.
She's dope.
Does she do comedy?
Nah, she doesn't.
But I'm
She
saying
does
comedy when there's two doing comedy.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
What the fuck are you doing with this person?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Brooklyn's the worst for that. There's a bunch of like banging female comics that are funny and cute paired up with some unfunny busted dudes.
Yeah.
Not
It's
gonna say
almost
any
like
names.
you want to go like even the busted part is forgivable.
Yeah.
But the
better be funny.
unfunny
Yeah,
part.
be funny.
You better bring the heat.
Yeah, you got
fuck
one
that,
eye.
man.
I don't give a fuck.
Nah.
But
Have you ever dated a comic, or are you too new?
Nah,
to
man.
date?
I back when I moved here from Michigan.
Okay.
I did like you know how it is, like flings and stuff like that, but nothing like
Yeah.
real. You know.
I have not dated a comic yet. I'm trying not
but
to.
you do that on purpose, though.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It's not like it was.
Well, initially I tried to. A couple didn't rejected me, but
yeah, you was a different. You was
I was a different
pimp
guy.
Then.
That's a different guy.
Yeah,
I don't know that guy.
I
know
don't-
that motherfucker.
Listen, I don't know if I could recognize that guy now. If I saw him, I'd be like,
Who's this motherfucker?
Harry?
Yeah.
I would do like the Exorcist did to Johnny. Easy you, Johnny. It's your mama. Easy you, Hardy. Hardy. Where you are, Hardy? Come to me, you Hardy.
Dead on.
I gotta make some.
But
I gotta make some young bucks go and Google the Exorcist.
Right.
Mama,
You
is
love
that
that
you?
reference.
It's you. It's me, baby. God love you. Anyway,
But it's been hard. I'm not saying it hasn't been hard, but
Yeah.
I've tried to not shit where I eat.
yeah.
I don't know.
It's too much.
It's not
man.
impossible, but I just don't want somebody running around.
Yeah, I will shit at the table while
Right.
I'm eating.
You don't give a shit.
They be like, "You want a potty?" Nah, I'm good here.
And again, I know that you forget you're Superman. So some things that you do that other people for some reason can't get away with, and I don't think. And it's weird because I know there are things that I used to say about, well, that's what Dante does. I'm not that, and then I'm doing that. I'm doing those things. So I know that.
And I told him, Mike,
perhaps
I
he
said, Harry, what are you talking about?
He did. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I'm amazing. I get it.
But so can you. He
You
said to
could
me.
be too.
I don't know. I saw it the other day. You look pretty chill. I was like, oh, Dante looks kind of chill tonight. And then I see him put on that red leather jacket. I was like, oh, all right. there we go. There's the cape.
It was this weekend?
Yeah,
Oh, it was
yeah.
orange. It was orange. Let's be honest.
All right, my
It was
bad.
tangerine.
Blood orange.
It
Blood
was
orange.
tangerine. And a tangerine motorcycle jacket
Yeah, I
to
don't know.
match my Air Force Ones, of course.
Duh.
What am I, savage?
Just-
I'm going to walk around with a black jacket and orange Air Force Ones?
Barbarian?
No.
What the fuck am I?
No.
I don't know why I even-
Ridiculous.
The
Question
fuck is
that.
wrong with me? Fucking one day, I had a yellow one on, and Christian Finnegan, clearly that's a guy who has other jackets.
Other jacket.
Clearly that's not your only jacket. Nobody has a yellow
That's
motorcycle
the
jacket.
only jacket.
That would be pretty dope if it
very
was.
funny.
It's my jacket. It's my everyday
only one,
jacket. Yellow.
What?
That's just my thing.
Yeah.
I just like yellow.
No one just settles on yellow if you only got one jacket to wear all winter.
If someone did, though, I think it would be Dante.
It would be Dante. You make it work. You know what? This year I'm going with yellow. All yellow.
All yellow. I'm doing yellow all year. That's
One
my,
time he came in a jacket that I
That's
said-
my color palette.
that looked
Shout out to Poppy.
that looked like he skinned a Cookie Monster. Like you could have skinned a Cookie
Oh yeah,
Monster.
the blue.
You
the
still
blue
have
fox.
that? You must
yeah,
have
I still
it.
got
yeah.
it.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen you wear it
I
in a
don't
while.
wear it a
but
lot. It's a little bit much, maybe.
It's hard to match.
It's
with
not
anything.
really. Works
No?
with jeans.
Oh,
That's,
that's
why I got
true.
it. Works with blue jeans.
I
But
like-
it's
What does it have to be for Dante Nero to go? It's a bit much.
It's
It's a bit much. The Cookie
That's
Monster.
what I
think,
want to
was,
see.
I loved it. I mean, it was great, and that was also yeah.
What?
That was a night. There was a girl with you at the time, who you were with, and she was like, you were just playing around with her, like, but in front of us at Green. This wasn't alone. And you're
What
like,
was that?
she's like yapping about something. You go, you talk too much, and you grabbed her by the throat, and she's like, I do. She's like, I do talk too much.
I don't even remember
Right.
it.
And it's like, I'm like, should we leave the fucking room? Are these guys gonna fuck right here? I mean, I've got to wait for my set, but I
Right.
can wait by the bar.
Yeah.
Like,
Jedi
this
mind.
was not
Oh,
a,
my
you know,
God.
some people have a problem kissing in public. He's just fully grabbing her by the neck, and she's like, ooh,
You talk too much.
I do talk too
I'm bad.
You are right. I do talk too fucking much.
I don't even remember that, Harry. That's insane. That we, oh my God.
That was before we were close.
Really?
Yeah, that was
that
like
must
when we
have been
knew
lovely.
each other.
That must have been lovely to see that, right? Jesus Christ. What's wrong with me, Harry?
I don't.
What
is
is wrong with me? God. What's wrong with me?
I don't know. Listen, it comes with a package. I can't. Am I to say it's wrong? Because I mean,
I didn't. That's how crazy is that, Mike? That I don't even
has
remember
zero
that.
recollection.
Who has that as a memory? Who has that as a thing that they do and they don't remember?
That's definitely crazier than the action itself. You don't remember. That would be like a pinnacle moment in my life. I'd be like, yeah, remember that one time that girl was like, I talked too much, and then I just grabbed her, and I was like,
but it wasn't aggressive. I want to make sure that people.
What do you mean it wasn't aggressive?
You were playing around, like just.
It was
not flirtation. You were together. I remember because I remember you were wearing that coat, and then. I do talk too much.
I do, right? I should shut the fuck up. I'm just yammering on.
Shut the fuck up.
I've been waiting for you to say that, Daddy.
That's man, I remember dating this chick, and she was having I might have talked about this, but fuck it, let's do it again. I was really close with her, but I was also close with her daughter, and her daughter had a guy, like her daughter's like young, in her teens, and she had a boyfriend, and some dude came up to her and was like, "You with me now," and grabbed her, and the other dude, the dude she was with was, he's young, but he was soft, and he was like, afterwards, she was like, "You didn't even help me." He was like, "I thought y'all you knew each other," and he was like, "No, nigga, you know what the fuck it was. He was fucking dissing you." And then the girl who I was talking to, she was like, she was like, you can't have a guy. She's Dominican. She was like, you can't have a guy who do that. You have to go. And she goes, and I was really close with the girl. And she goes, this guy said something to me one time, and Dante grabbed him to the face, in the face. He grabbed. Like, I didn't really choke him. I just, grabbed his whole face with my hand, and I pushed him against the gate. And I said, what the fuck you say? And he was like, oh, I'm sorry. And she remembered this, right? And I still don't remember. Like, how you grab somebody's face?
And then had no recollection.
It didn't even rank in the top fucking 20 stories ever.
Of your most violent
top
stories?
Top 20 face grabs?
That's what we got to do on Sports Center.
I want to know what is number 1?
Number 1.
I just ripped someone's
like
face
number
off.
12.
Number 7, downtown Brooklyn.
All in strip clubs.
Number 8, the Africa House.
Definitely at the Africa. Then she got mad at me because you don't remember? I was like, no, I don't remember. I don't remember just grabbing somebody's face.
Bitch, I grab a lot of people's faces.
I was like, who does that?
Who does that?
I don't know anybody that does that. You did it. I saw you. He says to me, and I was like, all right, I guess.
I mean, I guess if you say I did it, I can't argue.
I'm not. I don't know why somebody would make that up, but I'm appalled.
Sounds on brand.
Mike's wife is dope.
Yeah.
She's real supportive, dope.
Yeah. She likes comedy. That's great because she loves comedy, but she's not in comedy,
Is she critical of you, or like?
Yeah, she has like levels. Like, I'll tell her something. I'll be like, "What do you think about this?" And then she'll be like, "Yeah, that's pretty good." And I'm like, "All right, well, that sucks then." But she's good. She's a good audience member. She gives it up for people and stuff. But she
has she ever watched me or no?
Yeah. She saw you the first time over at Westside that one time. We were drinking with Jay and stuff. And And then she's seen you at San Diego a couple times for sure. Yeah,
because she's usually at the bar, but we be chatting it up, hanging out, just chilling.
I fuck with her. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna start sitting like Dante on stage. Like, she's like, I don't think you can pull that off. You gonna have to wait a few years before that.
She's a cool ass chick. She's a real cool ass chick. So it's like, it's good. How long you been married?
We were married 2 years, a little over 2 years.
Oh, so it's fresh.
Yeah.
How long did y'all date before you got married?
We dated for like almost 2 years before that, and then it was easy.
That ain't bad.
Nah, it was good. I mean, honestly, I feel like if you're gonna get married, if that's your thing, and it's long, if you're like dating for longer than 2 years, you know what I mean? Like,
you know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean that's okay too.
I'm always amazed by the people who do the thing where they're like, "How long you guys been together?" Well, we dated for 8 years.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You're like,
dog, I dated my ex-wife for years.
Yeah. How many years?
let me see. We were living together, and so let me see. When I met her, her daughter was 2, like 1.5, 2, and when we got married, she was probably like 12 or 13. So 10.
Wow.
10, and then I was like, because I really was never really like a married, like, I'm not going to say, for me, a great marriage is built on a great relationship.
Yeah.
So the relationship was important. The marriage wasn't. It just wasn't something that I was particularly like, okay, I need to do this. I also don't like when people tell me what to do. So I don't like the agency where, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. So she really wasn't even asking, or she wasn't even talking about it. And then I went and I was like, man, she's being so cool. Yeah, she wants to get married. And I went and got this dope-ass diamond ring. It's like a fucking VVS.
Yeah, that shit sucks, man.
I got her the best stupid clarity diamond. And then I got a fucking, it was like a carat and a half, maybe carat and 3/4. It was a rock. And then I had the setting made, custom made by the cult I was in. I was in the Egyptian cult.
That's right.
So it had
that's
fucking.
a whole other long.
So it had
like a quick sidebar.
It was made with ankhs. There were Egyptian ankhs. The whole band was Egyptian ankhs.
Ankhs?
Yeah, ankhs. Like
it's like the
symbol of.
Oh, okay. I got you.
It's
What's
it?
I know. Yeah, with the loop. It's like a cross with the loop at the top.
The snakes.
No, not the snakes. It's a loop at the top with a cross.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's see what it is. Let me. I always know a lot of dumb, ridiculous shit that I shouldn't know. So the ankh is the meaning is life, right?
Yeah.
And
ANKH. Yeah, okay, yeah. It looks like this crucifix with the loop. I see.
Right, but the loop represents the woman's uterus, and the bottom is the phallic symbol. The cross actually means the phallic, so it's the union of the masculine and the feminine, which makes life. That's what it means. Which is interesting because the Catholic Church is the cross without the uterus.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Makes sense. On brand.
Stop fucking the kids! Popes!
They've been
bishops!
Telling us the whole time.
Yeah.
They ain't even trying to. It's like a serial killer trying to get caught.
They've been
National treasure.
You don't see we don't have no vagina on the top
what do
of
you
this?
think we're trying to say here?
Yeah. Don't you see our
We're
symbol?
fucking kids!
We won't even let the girls near the fucking stage.
No, they can't come. You can have a woman in the pulpit. Because you know what? Women can't fuck boys, so you got to get out.
You got to get the
Bye.
fuck out. You got to go. You don't got to go home, but you can't stay here.
That's like South Park when they go, the biggest problem here is
how do we stop these young boys from talking? Wait, what?
What? You don't mean stop fucking the boys? No. We got to stop them. And he goes, well, shouldn't we just stop fucking kids? And everybody goes, this guy's he's a fucking card.
Harumph.
Yeah.
The space one. My favorite was the Catholic cardinal from space. Apparently, the alien cardinal.
The alien cardinal. Dope. But go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Catholic Church is too easy to make fun of. I was raised Catholic, so I was like,
yeah.
Did
it affect you in anyone in terms of marriage and nothing?
No, I don't think so. I mean, because early on, I was like a defector.
How early? How early?
I remember in we used to have to go to catechism. I remember in 2nd and 3rd grade getting in trouble for just asking questions. Being like,
that's how it starts.
simple questions too. Like, hey, why do we do this? This seems like a little dumb, And
what's the best question you asked a priest?
Well, the first thing I got in trouble for is I was like, why don't we have different flavors of the communion wafers?
And I understand back in the day we were kind of limited here.
Yeah,
but
I know. That's what I was like.
Baskin Robbins got
trouble.
The nuns. Yeah, they had to have my parents come in, and they had a conference with the nuns.
Were you there with the conference?
Yeah.
What did they say?
They said Michael doesn't understand what this body of Christ is, what it means.
Well, that's your problem, bitch.
I know.
It's your job to explain it.
I know.
I mean, you know what? It's literally not only this is where they get the criminality, the hubris is so big because all they have to do is go, well, it's a tradition, so we're keeping
tradition,
and that would have sufficed. But instead, they got to go, this guy's trying to raise trouble. We got to cut this off at the back.
Children-hating fucking nun bitches. That's what the fuck. Well, them children-hating bitches, they hate kids.
They were mean, too, man. They were mean.
You ain't I went to Catholic school and Catholic high school.
Oh, man.
I went to Catholic elementary school with nuns and priests.
Yeah.
And then I went to I went to Brooklyn Tech for 2 years. I got stabbed in Brooklyn Tech.
Wow.
And then I had to go. It's a whole nother story. Then, you'll find out. This just shit will just come out, and it just.
Sure.
The best thing is that Harry's been friends with me for as long as I can remember, and Harry still goes, "When the fuck did that happen?"
What was the last one that I screamed? When the fuck did that happen? Was that we were on? Was it on the road trip or something?
What were we talking about?
Makanut was one of them.
Oh yeah, that was. We had a Arab dude at the corner. He had the corner store, and he would go. Like the name for homosexual in whatever Arab country was Machanut.
Yeah.
If anybody knows what this and you listen, text.
What language is it?
I don't know.
No, that's what I'm saying. If anyone knows, tell us.
If anybody knows, tell me what Machanut. But he would go, you my friend, you Machanut, right? And all the hip hop dudes, all the thugs, they be like, what? What the fuck you say? Be like, you Machanut. He be like, no, yo Muhammad, you Machanut.
No.
You Machanut, yes. And he would be like, you Machanut.
And what I love is the anger of someone who didn't know that word 5 minutes ago.
And now it's offensive.
Like, fucking, like, how dare you call me this word? I didn't know it existed.
You Machanut.
No, motherfucker, you Machanut.
Take that back.
And I like him. I like the story. How the Arab guy he's making it more offensive. No, my friend.
I
you
see you
are Machanut.
You are Machanut. He pointing at you, and you're like, you Machanut.
The way you say it sounds so dirty. It's got to mean something bad.
Yeah, is what it is.
Thinking it means a faggot.
That's what it is.
The racial
slur.
Dude has some balls.
In Arab. But they, the guys, they didn't know it. You Machanut. You know it, Machanut. You know Machanut.
No, motherfucker, you Machanut.
You are Machanut. Don't play yourself, Muhammad.
Only in prison, man.
It was always some shit that pops out whenever we fucking talking. Here's the thing. Now, you talk about the church and stuff.
Yeah,
so, what was marriage a thing that you just kind of felt like this one you wanted to?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I was never like, oh, I need to get married or I don't want to get married.
Was you smashing a lot of puss, Mike?
Nah, not really. I was never that guy.
No.
I mean, like, I'm not.
What's your number, Mike? What's your number?
I say. It's probably in the 20s. I don't know. Nothing crazy.
I like the fact that Mike didn't go. I'm like, usually when I say, what's your number? Dudes go, you mean how many girls Mike was like, he just went to, you know exactly what the fuck I was
talking
about. In your 20s. That's not bad.
Nah, I mean,
What were you
how
in
old
high
you,
school?
Mike? How old
What's that, high school?
Yeah.
One in high school.
One in high school. That's what I'm saying.
Like,
a lot of guys, that's not a bad number for a guy popping out of high school who I assume most comedians didn't get laid in high school.
No.
Just right off the bat. I mean,
once.
the odds are once, right. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
What was my number in high school?
When you graduated, when you put the cap and gown. Not what happened right after. The
137.
not counting the
cap and gown.
The week right after.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5.
All right, that's
5, 6. But I was in a relationship. I mean, that doesn't explain how I got to 5.
I know. That's what I was laughing at. I was like, oh, okay.
I was in a 4.5 year relationship.
I was in a committed relationship at the. It was like 5. But that was like I remember my last girlfriend before I graduated. She was a virgin, and I was like really. By then, I had a full duffel bag full of dildos and Benoit balls and butt plugs.
I didn't have one of those till this year.
Harry, when did you get your kit? When you first got your kit?
What do you mean, a kit?
Like your whole fucking.
I mean, you piece it together. It's not. You never like.
It's never really done.
I didn't put it together like the A-Team.
Comedy. You just keep pushing.
You just keep, with this girl, we want to try this, and then, you know how they say never buy any food when you're hungry? Definitely don't sext and then buy things off of Amazon, because then things show up later. You're like, what the fuck?
What did I want that for?
I mean, I'm keeping it, but I mean, what the fuck?
Why did I just buy a rubber fist?
Yeah. It's like, all right, I'll keep it.
A black one.
Yeah. But I didn't buy. I did have to buy the duffel bag specifically for that. Like, I would keep it. I don't remember where I was keeping. I think I was keeping it just like, all right, let me put it in this box I have.
Yeah.
And then it outgrew the box. It's like a puppy.
Yeah.
It outgrew the box.
My first kit. Do you remember gray flannel perfume? Well, there used to be this perfume back in the days. It was like gray flannel, and they would come in the little shower bag where you had the shower gel and the perfume and the aftershave. And I had this little shower bag. It was like gray flannel. And then I had everything in there, and then it outgrew that. Then I had a JanSport. Then I had a duffel. I had this fucking duffel bag. I had a North Face.
Now you got a room.
Duffel. Actually,
yeah, a room.
I mean, I don't have a room, but I mean, it definitely have because you buy when you fucking with the sex toys. You ever fuck around? Y'all fuck around with sex toys?
Of course, yeah.
When you buy sex toys, if you really are kind of exploring, you realize a lot of the stuff is not quality.
Yeah.
So you
have to rebuy and
and then you go, this wasn't good and this didn't work and this wasn't strong
I mean, the
enough.
other thing is this: no matter how much money you make, you don't want to spend $100 on any type of sex toy. You're just like, what am I doing with my life? I could be feeding the homeless instead. I'm buying leg spreaders. I mean,
I was and she was a virgin, and then so her only reference was me, right? So I'm tying her. I'm in high school. I'm tying her up. I got hot wax.
But what didn't your friends say? Did I miss that part? Your friends?
What?
That your friends told you?
That what?
That
well, that was when I was like 11.
No?
I was 11,
but this wasn't related.
Yeah, when I was 11,
the damage was done from that. Explain
I was
that story though.
So I was 11 years old, and and I hung out. My mom used to babysit kids. Mm-hmm. Yeah, even before I came along, she babysitted kids, right? And she babysitted these kids, and they were older than me. So when I was like 11, they were like 18 and, 17, 18, 19, like that. And they were like, look, let me tell you something, young fella. You if you don't eat your girl's pussy, she can be stolen. She can be taken. Which is not wrong.
Advice.
Not wrong.
I mean, I don't know if it.
But I was 11.
11, yeah.
And I'm trying
I don't know if you got to worry about pussy eaters at 11.
Yeah, I'm in 4th and 5th grade trying to convince some little pissy pants girl why I need to fucking eat her pussy so we don't break up. And she's like, what?
This guy's weird.
We're not even French kissing yet. I'm like, oh, today we are. So, but then it grew, and then you kind of streamline the shit that works and the shit that doesn't work.
Yeah, I still haven't tossed any. I'm keeping some stuff. Yeah,
you'll throw some of the stuff out.
I will eventually.
I had vibrating nipple clips.
Yeah, I haven't gotten those.
Yeah, it was.
How are those?
Yeah, it's just really not practical.
Yeah. I was like,
I mean, works better, the suction nipple. I'm going too far. Whatever.
You need to put the Dante kit available for like
I'm gonna
whatever
do that
price
when you sign up.
Yeah,
you know how
that's the big
I was,
Patreon level right
when
there.
You set a level. You set a like when you sign up for the clothes and you come with a new shirt.
Yeah.
Well, this is cool.
The Dante box.
The Dante box. There you go. Next $1 million idea.
But she was absolutely like. She was a virgin and she didn't know, and I was like eager to try shit, and so I was just buying shit, and which is really weird that I was in high school going to the fucking sex, just buying.
Nobody batted an eye.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's people dying in the streets of heroin and gunshots.
Yeah,
at that
that's
point,
true.
they're like,
nice. And then the other thing was they knew me at this.
Why did they know you at the sex shop at 11?
Because I would go so much. Like I would go in. I'm here the fucking honey. So there was a dude.
Did you put your paper route money on the
yeah,
counter?
right?
Like, how the fuck?
Yeah.
There was a dude who, they had this African dude who kind of ran it, and then they had the girls who would go, "What are you looking for?" Whatever, and I would, "Hey, what's up? What's up?" I always speak, and even as a kid, I was like that. And then one day he had a problem where they were gonna close the store, and he had a fight with the boss, and let me talk to you for a second. He brings me outside. This guy, he went to fire me, and I told him, and I'm like, dude, we not friends. I
Right.
just buy lube here.
Right.
I mean, he did give me a lot of free batteries and shit, but we were
I don't
not
know that
friends.
close.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't give a fuck about your job. Just sell the dildos and shut the fuck up.
Listen,
But he
man.
was extending like, yeah, you know what?
Where everybody
we'll
knows
talk
your
later.
name.
Yeah, I want
It
that to be
is.
the title of your biography.
Yeah.
You sell me the dildos and shut the fuck up. The
That's gonna be
Dante
my-
Nero story.
That's gonna be my album. Yeah, but it was the duffel bag grew, and she was so young that I was experimenting on her. So there was anal and bondage and hot wax and what do they call the roller things with the little pins?
It's a pinwheel.
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 See how quickly he
Yeah.
came up with that answer?
I mean,
you piece
hold
of
on. Let
shit?
me
Let me
Google
look
it.
it up real quick.
Let me Google it.
Harry, he didn't fucking hesitate, Mike. Pinwheel. That was
Yeah.
a pinwheel.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
And so she was like, I was just experimenting, and then I was like, look, and then we broke up on prom. I went to college.
Hold on. Correction here. I want to be as accurate as I can be.
Sure.
It is a pinwheel. However, it is a, what is this here? A Wartenberg pinwheel. I don't know
Ooh,
why
that
that's the
sounds
name.
Maybe that's the it's like Tiffany.
Oh, is that a brand?
Yeah.
Is that- okay.
Yeah.
So it is indeed a pinwheel. All right, never mind. Sorry. Apologies. Keep going with your pinwheels,
Yeah,
people.
so I got to the point where I was like, where I was going to college and we had broke up, and then I tried to explain. I said, listen, let me explain something to you. Who I am is I'm not like regular. Like this is not. People don't do this.
Yeah.
So I was trying to. So she wasn't just. Like, oh, this, she gets a new boyfriend, and then she's like, tie me up, whip me, gag me. Where's the ball gag? Like, it's just.
Like, what? I'm 14.
Yeah, right?
And so I tried to explain her, but she was like, you motherfucker, you dropped me, and then you want to keep me. I said, that's not what I'm doing here. I was like, I don't want you to think that, that you could act like this with everybody. And then I went back for the reunion, like the following year, and they was like, I don't know what you did to her. She just was trying to get all the dicks.
I was going to ask where she at now.
Yeah, she was sucking dick in the locker room. All kind. I was like, I felt bad, but she was a piece of shit. So good for her.
All's well that ends well.
Karma. Anyway, but yeah. So that was So was marriage a thing, or no?
I mean, it wasn't like the end goal ever really, but it just, she was a cool chick. We loved each other. It was like, I don't like being single. First off, like I don't like the whole single hookups thing. Like I'm not. Like I just get too much anxiety, you know what I mean? Like the morning after and stuff. Like I hate the whole dynamics of.
What is it about that bothers you?
I just don't like that you can't I know your whole thing is be honest and stuff, but like that's
easier said than done.
Yeah,
for you?
exactly. Yeah,
he goes,
for sure.
I know that thing you do when
you
tell the truth and shit. I mean, you can't do that.
Yeah,
Don't
which
mind
is the right approach.
Yeah.
But also, I don't think that's not like I don't like doing it all the time either. You know what I mean? Like just meeting. I don't know. There's like an emptiness to it for me that just isn't my thing, and I don't like hate on people who do or whatever.
No.
Just,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not offended.
No, I know. I just, and so I mean, it just made sense. So.
Now, is it because of the approach anxiety, or is it because you grew up with both your parents?
Yeah.
Is that so? And they're still together now? Or
They
no?
are.
Yeah. And how long have they been together? You say
35 years,
Wow.
maybe.
Yeah, so-
yeah. I mean.
now they're religious. They were really religious.
I
too?
mean, like Catholic religious.
Yeah,
so like,
whatever that is.
Like
go-
just
I
say
go
you're
to
sorry
church.
at the end of the day and
Yeah,
give
yeah,
some
yeah.
money, but.
But just anybody ever step out, or that you would know of?
I mean, I don't think so.
You don't
Maybe,
think so?
maybe.
But but if you're
like,
going maybe, if you
nothing.
know, I don't know, Harry. Do you anybody ever step out on your
On me?
mother and father?
On my mom and dad? No, they're still happily married. No, yeah, 10, 12, yeah. My mom, I caught my mom cheating on my dad. She was also
Really?
Catholic, so that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what commandment it says.
Then your father gave her the herpes?
Claim your ex-husband gave you herpes.
Herpes. Yeah, I mean, I wonder
yeah.
that. I don't know. It's sort of like, when you look at Mormonism and they have multiple wives, those dudes don't have the game for multiple wives, but the agency of Mormonism makes that acceptable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the agency is what maintains the control over this thing called, polyamory or polygamy or whatever. Yeah. And so that you don't really got to be the dude who, you don't got to maintain that the same way you would have to maintain it if the agency goes against that.
Yeah. Those dudes crack me up because they just get different chicks for different roles.
Yeah.
Like they got the worker wife, they got the hot one, they got one that's good at cooking. They got it's pretty crazy.
I mean, if you're gonna have multiple
I
wives,
know, right?
you might as well get one for each roster, special teams,
I could use a grunt worker.
You'd be like, none of these pretty bitches cook. I gotta get a pretty bitch that cooks.
She's not much to look at, but she's a hard worker.
You should see her cut firewood. See that swinging
that
axe.
Paul Bunyan girl.
We're never cold here. None of us. All my wives are warm, right? It's funny how the agency makes that available to you, whereas so I guess what I'm saying is, did the environment just make it kind of that way for you, or
yeah, I mean you're a product of your environment for sure, so I'm assuming.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you this was kind of a thing, like you just didn't, the single thing when you were coming up, you wouldn't like.
I mean, I like the ethos of being single in my head,
right?
But in practice, it's not. It's always
a
like
lot
grass
of
is
work.
green. Yeah, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of like loneliness. I don't know. What I mean?
Harry's a lot.
It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
But also what I'm doing is a tremendous amount of work of balancing.
Yeah,
more than one.
I
can be a lot of work.
I know, man.
It's a lot of work. Yeah,
but it's it's not. It isn't a lot of work. Let's just put it that way. When you learn the skills, if you know what's coming and you know what you're dealing with, it's not as scary. It's like being an NFL quarterback, where it's like, it's real scary, all this shit, unless you know the plays, unless you prepare, unless you're like mentally ready to deal with all that.
It's like when I was running around like that. It didn't seem like a lot of work because it was just what I did.
Yeah,
like I just always did that. And what I find now is like, when you're in love and you love somebody, all of that work goes into the person instead of into all of these other outlets. Like I had a situation that was Harry, we was talking about this, right?
Which one?
One of my dudes came by the club, and he recently.
Okay.
One of my old dudes from back in the days, recently married, first time he married, got a and
recently married, had
one of my
baby.
Yeah, one of my.
How much do we want to tell? Are we able to tell?
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, just had a baby, but let's keep it at. But brought this chicken by, and I was like, it just rubbed me the wrong way.
You felt funky about it.
Yeah, and I was really trying to figure, like,
about them, like their relationship, or
I was just like, man, just his.
Why is
his daughter? His daughter is beautiful, and his wife is beautiful. I don't know, and I just feel like, in the context of having a kid, like. You know what? I guess
you should. Maybe it's an ego thing that bothers you. Where when you have a kid, you think like, shouldn't your energy all be focused on that kid?
Like if I go, you got a beautiful daughter, and I'm like, okay, so
why are you ready to throw all that away? Because if it goes wrong, it's gonna be
somebody's gonna be hurt.
Disaster.
Yeah.
It's not if somebody's gonna be hurt. Like it's one thing if if you're dating or even just married. Maybe you can survive that. Maybe you can work that. But
you know what? This is what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
So when I got married, right? What before I got married, like I was running around. I was still stripping, and I was running around. And my ex-wife, she told me that she was a stripper. She was a stripper, and the day she told me she loved me, I was in a strip club. I had stopped in to say what's up. Kind of see her. She was giving a dude a lap dance, right? And as I was leaving, she was like, come here, come here, come here. And I came over and I leaned in. And she was sitting on this dude's lap. And she goes, I love you. And I was
While
like,
she was sitting on the dude's lap?
She was giving him a lap dance.
Oh, my God.
That's weird.
Right? And I was like, all right, cool. You know, because I was so, you know, we were just talking about how desensitized you get with all the, like, sexually, I was so it was like, whatever. And she was like, did you hear what I said? I go, yeah, I heard you.
But
thank you.
What am I supposed to do?
So then we talked about it afterwards, and I was like, what do you want me to do? I go, you. So here's the thing. My ex-wife, the way I got down with her was she was in a lesbian relationship living with a chick, and they wanted to spice up their relationship, and I was the spice. Just call me sofrito. and then I ended up dealing with both them. Like, they broke up, and I was dealing with both of them, and then they were at each other's odds, and it was like the strip club was like the like West Side Story. It was like half was a half, and
way better version of West Side Story.
Yeah. They was all in thongs and titties out, and then they were like, "Kick that bitch out!" They had like almost had a bottle fight, because I was like, they found out my boy was bouncing, and he was like, "Yo, don't come down to the club," and he was like, "I'm like, why?" He was like, "Yo, they found out that you were supposed to," like, because I was. Like, I would see one during the day, and then one during the night, and then one during the night with alternate.
When they were off days. And
and then I had a couple other things going on or whatever, and they were like, so one of them was really kind of bitchy, and I started spending more time with her just because I felt like I was neglecting her, you know. So even then I was aware of what the balance is, and she goes, just being a fucking catty bitch, she was like, you know, we were friends before, we were even, and, you know, I don't see why we can't be friends now that I have him, and she was like, you don't have him, I have him, and she was like, you, what? You don't have him? I was with him yesterday. She was like, I was with him this morning, and it was like,
God damn.
And the whole thing just blew up.
Oof.
And then they were like, bitch, I
this is the boy's mind shit.
Yeah. And then the club was split in half, and one was with one, and half the other one, and they like broke a bottle. They was like, bitch, I'll cut you, blah, blah, blah. My boy was like, don't go to the club. And I was like, why? He was like, oh, they getting ready to have a bottle fight. And I was like, neither one of them bitches is going nowhere. What the fuck? And the reason was, so then they called me up, like, how could you do this to me? And one of them that I was fucking with was fucking the DJ. That was her boyfriend. The other one was fucking this other chick.
And so she is saying, how could you do this to me, while they're fucking other people?
Yeah.
Right. And I was like,
because that's the standard that they had determined.
I was like, bitch, y'all must be out here fucking shit. Well, at least you could do is apologize. I'm not apologizing shit. I said, you don't think I know you was fucking the DJ? She was like, I stopped fucking him. I'm only dealing with you. I go, well,
that's a new development.
I was not aware of that. And I never apologized, and they both stayed. They was like, that's all right, you go. And then
I like the idea of them demanding an apology, like I said, Senator, my client demands an apology.
He wants an apology, and I was like,
this is ridiculous.
This is absurd, and it's an outrage. And I didn't apologize, which is probably why they stayed, because I just was not. I didn't take. You know, like you get caught. Well, I was like,
you didn't admit fault. You didn't admit fault.
I'm like, you know what it is. I go, I met y'all, fucking both of y'all. How am I fucked up?
Yeah.
Because now you got feelings. Now because you got feelings. I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, it ain't happening.
And then we ended up together, and she had a daughter, and so when she told me she loved me, I go, what? I go, I don't know what to do with that. I go, you hang out with other chicks. You have huge lesbian parties where y'all scissor and clam bash, right?
Tribbing. I learned about tribbing.
What's that?
Tribbing is this is something I didn't understand. I thought it was just scissoring.
Yeah.
But supposedly I've been informed that scissoring, that's just for the movies. That ain't the real shit that the lesbians do.
What is it?
Tribbing is like grinding clits on top of the clip, but mounting the same way you would mount a woman if you were a dude.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So there's a difference. I don't know. Something I learned.
Thanks.
I'm always trying to spread some information.
Thanks.
Pinwheels,
Like
tribbing.
Whatever.
Knowledge is power, people.
It is.
Yeah. You just don't want to snowball. Well,
snowballing, I don't.
I'm not going. Anyway, so the people gonna be looking up snowball.
Yeah, have fun with that.
Yeah. But the thing was, I was like, you want me? I said, when you told me you loved me, you was grinding some dude's dick in the dust, like. And I go, I'm not judging, but I don't really want that. I don't want that in my. I don't want that in my. Like, I don't know. I go, you got a daughter. I don't have no kids. I go, how are you gonna? Like, what are you bringing to the table? And what she did was she said, I will take your disgust and raise you. She quit stripping, enrolled in college, and got a regular job. And she bought me a ferret because I was a big fan of Beastmaster.
Naturally.
Right?
Classic gift.
So Beastmaster walked around with an eagle, a tiger, and a ferret. Those were his friends.
So she got you a ferret.
She got me a ferret. I think I deserved the eagle and the tiger, but she,
I understand. It's New York City.
She was working retail. What are you gonna do? Yeah. You can't get me a tiger.
It's a start. Maybe we can work our way up.
Yeah.
And she was like, I want me and my daughter. We love you and we want to be with you. And I was like, damn, that's
coming to the table with something.
Yeah, but here's the interesting thing about that. Resented me the whole time we were married because of that. And then the minute she had got her master's degree, started like she was fly.
She was acting like she was some shit.
Like I'm big. Like, bitch, you couldn't even write a term paper.
Neglecting that you were instrumental in that happening.
Oh yeah. It was, and then ultimately that was the. Once she felt like, and this is where the theory, I have this theory that a woman only dates a guy who she thinks is better than her. Mm-hmm. And the minute she thinks so a woman will fall in love with you for what you are, spend the rest of the relationship trying to change you into what you're not, and if she succeeds, she'll dump you for a guy who is what you were when she met you.
Yeah.
So I was in a situation where I think she thought once she got the degree, because I didn't have a master's.
You weren't shit.
Yeah, I damn near paid for hers and did the paperwork and stuff. It was my master's. And then when she got it, she was like, "Oh, I got a master's. I'm going for my PhD." And I was like, "Yo, when are you going to be a wife?
Right?
Like, at what time do I become any priority? Oh, you trying to keep me from bettering myself?" And I was like, that's not what I'm doing. And first of all, I helped you get your associates. I helped you get your bachelor's. I helped you get your master's. And then what? So where is this? But when do I get taken care of?
Coming into it, were you expecting a wife, a stay-at-home wife?
No, but
even in that process, she was just kind of neglected.
When are you doing, like, when are you?
Just some of the things.
I really wasn't really independent, dude.
Yeah.
And so whatever she wanted to do, she could do, which is where I learned that lesson, that you have to involve your wife in your life. So it's interesting, like your lady comes and she's part of your comedy. And when I started, my ex-wife was involved in my comedy, but at some point in time, I just was so amazingly funny. I was like, why am I asking your opinion? You're not even funny.
Yeah.
You know? She wasn't funny. I started to understand the craft, and I didn't really ask her, and then she stopped coming, and then our lives became separate. So one of the things about that I think is, and I like to hear your point of view, is if you're married or in a relationship, the person that you're with needs to be part of your life.
Yeah.
Every aspect of. Now, she maybe can't write jokes for you, but she needs to be instrumental in your life, because you give your woman purpose in the context of your life. And picture this. Imagine if your wife didn't need you for anything.
Yeah.
Then you're both acting on this situation where you're separate entities. And so what is the purpose of the marriage?
Yeah.
You could be hooking up and living in,
just sort of a thing. It's not any real context.
Do you find that to be the case? And what ways do you...
I think first, one of the things, we're not going to have kids, right? So, like, that's not part of our plan at the time or whatever. And I think that takes a lot of pressure off. Like, just I mean, that's a big. I don't know. That's a big deal, right? Like that
Sure,
kind
of
of
course it
changes
is.
the whole complexity of any relationship.
Sure,
Yeah, it should.
I mean, it just transforms into something new. I think not having that sort of like if maybe one day we'll just all of a sudden be like, you know what, we do want to have kids, but right now it's not the plan. I think that takes a little bit off. I think she likes coming out to comedy. We just basically travel all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'll do shows on the road while we're doing
And
like
she's
vacation
hanging out.
stuff.
Oh,
yeah,
that's cool.
she's kicking it. She likes it. I think she likes being part of the comedy community too.
Right,
and,
right.
meeting people and like
It's a fun life.
yeah,
We are
yeah,
fun.
Yeah,
We are fun.
and she just wants to go out and drink anyways. You might as well come kick it at the clubs and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, for right now, it's good. I can see the point where if you're traveling more for comedy or things are starting to
Yeah,
pop
but
off
she
a little
rocks
more.
with you anyway, though.
Exactly.
But
So,
let me say this: it's something I think is just a little. I mean, you take the advice or not, but you have to involve her, not just the hanging part.
oh yeah,
But you have to involve her in your life. If it's the promotion, if it's the social media, if it's whatever, because you give her purpose. It's almost like a nice thing. I've had women say to me, I had a chick who broke out with me because she was intimidated by my independence, where she was like, we did an interview after we broke up, which is interesting because, she was kind of doing comedy, but not really, like faking it. And so, but when she would mention my name to these other people, radio and comics, and people on the Beige Phillip show or whatever, they would be like, "Oh, you know him?" He goes, "Oh, yeah." She'd be like, "Oh, we was dating." And then I remember they asked her, "Well, what is it like?" That's this thing, like, because you talk about the blue fur coat and stuff.
Yeah.
What is it like? And she said, I'll never forget this. She said, "It's scary because he anticipates my needs before I even know that the needs that it's even a present need. And a lot of times I don't feel like I have anything. I can't do that, and I don't feel like I can have anything to contribute." And she was like, it's just very intimidating. And I should have known then that this relationship was ending because she just felt like she was useless.
yeah,
Because
because you're too on top of things. Like you kind of were like,
I was, I'm considerate and I listen. I don't think you could be a comic and be good and not be aware of the details,
oh yeah,
the nuance. And so, but I always say this too. You can't. What you do has to permeate everything you do in life. So when I talk about credibility, right? You can't be credible in your relationships and not be credible in your finances. You can't be credible in your relationships and not get your shit tailored. You know what I mean? Like you can't.
I had to adjust the way I was dressing because that represented who I was.
Right.
And, I was doing good things in the relationship, but at some point I'm dressing like a slob.
Yeah.
That might not break up the relationship.
No.
But
chink in the
it's
armor, though.
It's many things. That usually means many things on
Sure,
top of each other.
sure.
Seldom are you like you have your life in order, but you don't dress properly.
Right. It all is the
It
same
all
thing.
is connected. It's all taking care
It's
of yourself.
like when you get a blood test and they find you got lymphatic cancer, there was a whole bunch of shit going on before it surfaces in the blood.
yeah,
Right? There's a whole bunch of other things that happen that show that there's illness there. And so credibility can't. I even put it to the point of when I sweep a floor, I sweep the floor. Like, I don't mean like wax on, wax off, but I mean, if I'm going to take on any endeavor, I'm going to do it like I should do it, like it's important. Otherwise, don't do it.
yeah.
I don't do a lot of like handyman stuff, but when I do it, I have the right tool. I've done the research on it. It's like this studio we built. I built this fucking studio. I put these lights up. I put the stuff on the thing. It was a process that I had. I didn't know how to do carpentry, so I had the table made by a So I don't think people understand that you need to be all of those things. You gotta be, because if you're not all of those things, you're not any of those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like any deviation off that makes
it's a facade.
It's incongruent.
Yeah.
And then a woman sees the incongruency, and then she goes, oh, "Something's wrong." You know?
Yeah.
How did you meet your wife?
We met at a wedding, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Her sister married my best friend from college, so it sounds cheesy, but
that's all right.
She was in the bridal party, I was in the groom's party, so.
Oh, so a lot of hanging out.
Yeah, not even really though. It was weird. It wasn't until after the wedding because like we were like it was a destination wedding kind of thing, so we were there for a couple days after.
That's
and then,
great.
I make really good sangria, and you know.
Good excuse to talk.
Yeah.
You're in the you're stuck together.
You're stuck. Yeah,
and so
I don't mean stuck, but I mean,
meaning
not
like
you mean.
but
In a good
eventually
way.
they can see you can see them, and you breed comfort that way. There's a little comfort. So then,
I just hope somebody would, listen to my podcast and then know me from the podcast and just find me.
Yeah, that
and
happens.
Just want to be with me because I'm so lovable,
so
and
amazing
open
on the podcast.
And
I'm pretty sure that's probably happened.
That's just what I long for.
Listen.
Yeah.
I mean, it happens. It happens. I mean, maybe this podcast. I've heard it happens on other podcasts. It could happen.
I don't know.
It could happen.
Yeah.
Shout out to Pop. So, but it's it's the congruency is important. When I always talk about authenticity, and that is authentic, and I think that is part of the reasons why marriages don't last. There's an inauthenticity, and there's
a lot of inauthenticity in a lot of different ways going into the marriage. What you want versus what you expect, because you
think you deserve, and what you think you're
and
going
what
to
you think
for.
you're supposed to do as well.
Yeah,
because you see a lot of these marriages of people getting married, one because they're supposed to get married,
sure,
right? The other is, well, I have to have a certain girl for the certain type of, even successful people. I need a proper wife and blah blah blah. And
shout out to Cinnabon. Cinnabon told me he got married because his father on his dying bed was like, you got to make a woman an honest woman.
That's fucked up.
That's why he got married.
Yeah, and he's on his way out. His pops was dead.
Yeah.
Done his time.
Motherfucking just fucked me
over,
up.
Yeah. Fucked him up. He's not even there to be around it. You're trying to help out your dead dad.
And he ended up in a divorce with a selfish person. So you know.
But people expect, even from a sexual standpoint, right? You want a certain type of wife, and then they end up fucking around with another woman who is nothing like the wife.
Yeah.
And it's like, because part of it is keeping up appearances. Like, be who the fuck you are to some.
Yeah.
I get it. You don't want to throw everything out there, but be who you are.
I have actually found, I'm not going to get into the names. I'll tell you afterwards.
Yeah.
Right? But how many people that have been on the show who are found out to be very inauthentic. So, like, where
it's disappointing.
Yeah, it is a disappointment because I hate to see somebody lying on their dick.
Yeah.
Not that I hate to do it, I just don't understand it.
Yeah. What's the reason?
And on a real, well, is that what I'm saying? I don't know how you.
I mean, I just don't know what's the upside.
The point?
Like, what are you doing it for? Who are you trying to? You only lying to yourself.
Understand.
I mean,
I think I understand why the people do it. Not that you should do it. Not
but here's the thing:
but
this is about being disingenuous.
Yeah.
If you're a guy who likes to fuck, right?
Yeah.
And you want to get your dick wet, right?
Yeah.
When you want to get your dick wet, then if the objective is, and I'm not condoning that, but I'm saying if that is what the objective is, to get your dick wet, I don't understand about lying about getting your dick wet. How does that resolve the initial thing, the initial destination, which is to get your dick wet, to get laid?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. So the point is, the energy that you're putting to put up the facade is the energy that you could be a better version of yourself so that you can get your dick wet.
But this person, it should be no surprise that what other aspect of their life was authentic when you think about it. And again, maybe this might be a conversation we got to go deep into off air. And I hate doing this to listeners. I apologize.
Yeah, I can't.
But we can't. If we could, we would. I hate it when shows do it.
Yeah.
Just listen long
enough.
I want to
talk about
it'll come out in the wash.
It'll come out in the wash. Yeah, I promise you, if you've been listening, you'll know who.
You'll figure it out of it.
But it's like you. And here's the thing: the fans have tweeted at me and sent, that motherfucker ain't really that motherfucker. Like I
think that motherfucker's makanut.
He's a makanut.
I don't think he is. Well, I revealed that it's a he. All right.
So it was but I don't get the point of the appearance. Like you said.
Yeah.
It's
people.
Who you lying to?
I think it's a sign for men of shame. It's something that men feel less than if they are not conquering as far as relationships and sex go. If they're not, nobody sees somebody who isn't getting laid and goes, "Man, I want to be like that dude."
You know what I mean? Mike, when you say you was never really that dude, and you're like a regular dude, like you're a regular dude, but you're okay with who you are. Like I get the feeling that you're comfortable.
I know what you're saying about the facade, though, and because in college I was like that. You know what I mean? Like I had this idea of what I wanted to be. I ended up, drinking too much and being someone that I didn't really want to be.
Sure.
And I remember holding up all those spinning plates. You know, you're telling a million people a bunch of different things. But at the end of the day,
were you lying or were you?
I mean, not lying, but just being just not being a good person overall.
Right,
not feeling good about what I was doing as a person. And I mean, guys do it because we're prideful and we want to appear always to be on top of everything, regardless. Right. But I'm a firm believer, man. If I see a chink in the armor, I think everything's rotten. Usually, I mean, like I follow.
It's not a good sign.
I'm like I feel like I have a good read on people.
Yeah.
Like initial reads too. I'll hear one thing someone says, and I'll just Jackie. My wife doesn't like it because we'll meet some people and be like, "Fuck that guy," like that guy. That
but
guy,
how often are you wrong?
Not very, like never.
Yeah,
like,
something in your gut.
It's
very.
I mean, if you get there's a reason you have a feeling, and it's subconscious or it's something else that you're reading on. But don't deny. I mean, usually it's spot on.
Here's what I like to the way you say that is if you got a feeling, there's a reason why you have it. What we don't understand is, and this is where we get so fucked up about about the nature of instinct, the fact that we are animals. Not being able to read the situation has in the past, in the history of us as a species, as human beings, you would die.
Yeah.
So part of reading the room is survival.
Yeah.
That's built into our DNA.
Hey, why are there no birds hanging around here? It seems odd there's no birds. There's usually birds. Where's all the birds?
I've never seen no birds.
Bye.
Like, why are all of these animals running to the mountains?
They seem to be running north.
Yeah.
Oh, hell.
Yeah, I'm going to go south.
No,
stupid.
Yeah.
And so, that feeling is there. We do learn to read body language, tone. I don't even know if it's energy or I don't know. I'm not a real kind of spiritual dude like that. But I know when I got a feeling, there's a reason why I got a feeling, and I interpret the world through my eyes and through my senses, and I know when there's a problem. That's why I feel kind of funny about it.
Yeah. I overanalyze what people say too, though. Like I
don't know if it's an overanalyze.
Well, not overanalyze, but I will pick up. Like I'll hear something little, someone will say something offhand, kind of comment or whatever.
Give me an example.
Like I don't know. Like I see it a lot when people are talking in a relationship or something. Because we meet a lot of couples, do like dinner dates and shit like that, and they'll say something like, inferring to this other person not doing something on it because it's like offhand comments. Like if you're, hey honey, will you like hand me that? And like, oh, maybe if you put it in there originally, this wouldn't be an issue. Or
and you're like,
I know, like, and it's like little, and it's offhand. You're like, oh, these people hate each other.
But here's the thing I say: you don't have to eat a whole birthday cake to know it's made with rotten eggs.
You
just need a spoonful.
Yeah,
and when you practice your perception, perceiving and soaking up the world and interpreting it, you get better at it.
Yeah.
And you need less evidence to secure your opinion because you get good at it. So when you say you listen to what people say and you like fuck that guy and you're like, but there's a reason why this is happening. Now, don't get me wrong, we all make mistakes sometimes. We don't always we're not just dead on, but then that's usually because there's a variable that you're not aware of, you're not privy to.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny, like when I watch, like Harry is fucking dope.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's really fucking.
Not mine.
Agreed.
Not for me to say. Not for me to say. But
Yeah, well, you can say.
if other people are saying it, who am I to stop them?
People on the street.
Anyhow, go on.
But when I met Harry, he wasn't dope. He was
not
dope, but he just didn't believe he was dope.
Yeah.
And the thing with him, he used to talk about the weight. And I would say to him, look, I don't want to lie to you and tell you that the weight is not a variable. I'm just saying it's not
the variable that you
the
think
only
it is.
variable.
Deciding variable. Yeah.
Like I know, it's funny, I was talking to my nephew the other day. He was talking about his boy who is, is built like Andre, right? Just built and got a great body and blah, 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 whatever, right? And then on top of that, he goes, yeah, when I be talking to girls, they be looking at him and da-da-da. But he's saying his boy don't have no game. And I go, so let me ask you something. How long? He was like, yeah, but I got to get built because he just gets them on him. And I'm like, you're fucking corny. You're being corny. Because the minute they get to know this guy who has no game, look, he may get the initial in. He may even get the sexual aspect of it. But how long is it before they realize that this motherfucker's personality is a dud and I'm moving on?
Yeah.
It happens. So the variable, it is, look, if you got all of that, if you got game and you dope and you do dope shit and you got a fucking six-pack, then she'll kill you. Yeah. Like she'll put a knife in you. Because I know that by.
That's happened?
Yeah, that's happened.
No,
I got stabbed.
That's happened.
You get
It's
stabbed.
the second stab
I mean,
reference you
look,
made.
I had to learn other skills. I had to get over that aspect of it.
Yeah.
That's
a hard thing to get over.
It is
too.
hard.
I mean,
it's hard, but
because it's. I mean, I deal with it too to a certain extent, but it's,
but it can't be the only thing in the world. But you also, I mean, the show taught me a lot of skill sets other than that. And when you get the small wins, you start to realize that you can do a lot more. You can do a lot more.
And don't get me wrong, weight is a variable. Appearance is a variable. It's just not the only appearance.
Was it easier when I was thinner? Oh, it was significantly easier. But I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I probably got a lot more phone numbers when I was thin, but I couldn't take it anywhere.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Every once in a while I get lucky. I'm doing comedy, so you look like a rock star for the moment, and it's a lot of luck. And now it's not as much luck as it is leads, almost leads, and then you work with it and you take it someplace.
Yeah, it's like when we was at Vaughn's release party, and the strippers was like I'm chilling, like my head wasn't even in that space, and they're like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And it's like, "Ooh," I'm like, I'm not even doing nothing now. Yeah. Like you get to the point where you're giving off this aura that you.
Now I've also seen at another strip club, Dante do a thing where strippers come up to you. That's not uncommon.
No, that's what they do.
That's what they do.
Oh yeah,
but. It depends on what energy you give them. When they go, you want a lap dance? And you go, oh, yeah, come on, let's do it. Like, what does that do?
Yeah.
But when you go, yeah, no, I'm good, thanks. All right? You go, nah, that's cool. Anyway, and then you turn your body, all of a sudden it's like.
I wouldn't even look at them. Nah,
no.
That's
I've seen him
same
do
thing
that.
I do, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what is accomplished by that?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Going in there. Oh, so I'm like everybody else? I don't want to be like everybody else. I've never wanted to be like everybody else.
Yeah.
I like going through the back, the kitchen door, because no one goes through there.
That's dope.
I go through there. Nobody goes through there.
Yeah.
But that's the thing you got to get over is you got to, and also it's just skill sets that you learn.
Here's the other thing. It's
throwing people off their game is part of it. Yeah.
Part of keeping your marriage going is to have that. Still have that. Like how dope is that you have that? And then you don't even use it.
Yeah.
Like your wife has got the fever for you, like you the strain, like she's the guy, you the guy she wants to fuck.
Yeah. She's
watching everybody else trying to get you, and you don't even you're not even moved by it. And then she's like, this motherfucker, yeah, God,
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's why she likes to go to shows too, though.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's part of the draw, I think.
Yeah,
there
yeah.
Also,
yeah. But but I mean, in the context of all of that,
for sure.
Like, it's nothing better than being the monogamous player.
Yeah.
Like the dude who go, yo, I got you. You just, yeah, but all these bitches like, yeah, but I like you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even feel. Yeah, but you special because I say so.
And if you so choose that, that's what you do. You can play that.
And then
part.
if you're not giving me what I want, and I'm in this situation where I'm dissatisfied, I got options. Like, that is always like, yeah, we cannot do this.
Yeah.
We can not do this yesterday if you're not in this place where I need you to be. So, like, I think sometimes I get into a place where my kindness gets to be this thing. Oh, really, bitch? Like, you don't want to see the other side of this coin because it ain't bang. Like, it gets, the switch is quick because I'm like you in that I read that.
Yeah.
But I think part of the monogamy thing is the importance of still working at being attractive. It's still working at being dope. It's doing
hot shit still. I mean, you know what I mean? That's
dope
the biggest
shit.
thing. Like, I think a lot of people fall into that rut of like not having sex a lot or not pushing the envelope with stuff too once you get married, and that's like game over. I mean, especially early on, like if you 2 years in.
Well, look, even later on, it's even more important. Like, if you still got, if you with your chick 10, 15, 10 years, and she's still looking at you like, this thing, god damn, this motherfucker, shit.
Some people get comfortable.
That's true.
They long for that comfort, but then they also
too comfortable.
You get too comfortable.
Yeah.
Right? And that comfort, it doesn't end up being good because you end up making mistakes, getting sloppy,
you're not
being
really
sloppy.
happy. You're not, when you get down to it, you're lazy, but you're not happy. We're always more happy when we're actively pursuing things.
The hunter,
and we're still in that situation where it's a thing.
I mean, listen, I know couples that are together and they get married, and they enjoy that, All right, Netflix tonight. What are we watching? What is the show tonight?
Yeah.
And then that's good for a while, I think. But if you're not out there pursuing what you're doing, if your day gig isn't what you want to do and it's just a day gig, at some point that wears out. That's going to have to wear out. It's going to become monotonous. It's going to become boring.
Well, that's always there, too. So, like, if that's literally the pinnacle, then that's supposed to be there as, like, the thing you do when you both kind of like,
where have you and your wife traveled to?
We've gone. I mean, so we've been to Iceland, Belgium, Germany.
Nice.
Through comedy?
No,
I
I did comedy in Iceland actually.
Oh,
which
nice,
was interesting. But
just for traveling.
Just for traveling, yeah.
That's
We went to French
women
Polynesian
love traveling.
Islands. Yeah, they
I've
do.
never met a woman who doesn't love traveling.
No.
Guys can take it or leave it, I think.
I love to travel, man.
I don't.
I'm a
that
big.
much.
Women also like dick.
This is true. Men can take it or leave it.
Yeah.
But women,
some have a taste for it.
yeah, some, it's an acquired sort of taste.
We do like one big trip a year.
Oh,
So
yeah?
we do like one out of the country.
Go in and see some other shit.
Yeah. Just because, like, I mean, that's if we're not gonna have kids, then what are we doing with the money? We're gonna go, go travel and shit like that.
Here's something that I always say is the importance thing is you have to create an album, like a picture album, not a picture, but like
Picture album?
everything is a snapshot.
Oh yeah.
So like you get just people in relationships, and what I always try to, they were like, well, what about this? What about, you got to be present in that relationship. But present in that relationship is creating these memories that are unforgettable. And you can't have a good time if you're not present in the moment because you're somewhere else. So creating these little snapshots of life, going on a hot air balloon, or going to Iceland, or doing this or doing that, or whatever. When you create those moments, those little special moments, it's like a little snapshot that goes in the album. And hopefully, if your relationship lasts, you will have so many of these little snapshots that you are irresistible. So even when a dude is coming up and he's going, yo, you want some of this dick? And she's like,
She gets disgusted.
We did.
Yeah.
you ever been to Iceland?
Yeah.
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 You ain't been to fucking Iceland.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying that a chick. I think we just like as you get older.
Oh yeah.
Like, dude, I used to ride dirty. Like,
what do you mean?
I would be in a car with no license, no insurance.
Oh, I see.
I would have drugs in the car, pistol in the car, just dirty, right? And then when I got older, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I'm a grown-ass man. What am I doing? Why don't I have my insurance?
Right.
Like, why am I
Because I'm not filling out the paperwork?
Like, what? I mean, I got...
I can pay for insurance. Yeah.
I don't... When a cop... I mean, you know, I could still get shot, but, I mean, that has nothing to do with me.
No, you can have all your insurance. Yeah. Ain't no amount of insurance going to stop
I
that.
can have all the insurance and a PBA card and still get shot. But the point is... I was like, why am I... Like, I would get my car towed for not paying the tickets. Then one day I would just come out and I would want to pay it. Oh, I'm going to pay it next week. Then I come out and there's a... I remember fucking... I was hanging out at the Comedy Cellar and I came outside. It snowed, right? And the spot where my car was the only place there was no snow. Because they had just took my shit. And I remember... I was like, yo, Patrice, he lent me the money. But he lent me the money for the tow. But this is the funny thing. He goes, man, you ain't got nobody else you can ask? And I was like, nah, not really. He goes, all right, dog, I'm going to give you this money, but I want you to know this is relationship ending money.
This is what you're
worth.
worth.
If I don't get this bag, yo, I don't have he's like, I don't give money that I can't give away, and I can't give this away. He goes, so this is relationship ending money. And I go, I understand. I mean, this is good because this gives me an opportunity to get it back to you and where we can start building a relationship.
Yeah.
You know? Naturally, I paid him early, you know. And he was like, all right, we good, which is kind of one of the things that kind of started to solidify the relationship. But to just not, to neglect, just to not be a grown-up.
Yeah.
And at what point you got to change that? You know, you're just
change
I'm tired.
Yeah,
just tired.
Why am I? You know how many times I got my car towed? I mean, multiple different cars got
Really?
towed. I used to get tickets all the time and then not pay them, and I come out and then my fucking car's gone. You know, I knew the 250 was the limit. Like 250 is the limit in New York. So anything over 250, they can tow your shit. So it's like
the fact that you know that.
Yeah, I haven't had my car towed in a very, very long time. But
that's a common thing though with kids, especially like out of sight, out of mind thing.
Yeah.
Kind of just like whatever. Even when you can do it, you know, like there's this weird. I mean, guys, you know, in general,
but
you know?
But that's indicative of a problem of a problem that happens all the time, and guys are ignoring it, and then they wonder why they can't get laid or nobody wants to be with them because of this inconsistency and this incongruence. Yeah. Mike, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, man.
Dog.
Thanks for having me, dog.
Plug your Twitter and all that good shit.
Yeah,
Anything
man.
going up?
Lash Laugh on Twitter, on Instagram. Headline Stand Up New York 11/9 at 7:30.
Nice.
Come out to that. Yeah.
Awesome, dog.
Yeah, man.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming, bro.
Yeah, dog.
Harry.
Hey, you can go to my website, IHateComedy.com. Also, November 17th, that is the Capital Wrestling Carnival. Harry Turjanian's Capital Wrestling Carnival. The owner of Capital Wrestling. It's going to be a fantastic time. Come on out to Hoboken Saturday night, 8 p.m. It's going to be awesome. Come and check it out. Go to Capital Wrestling for all that information.
Dopey, dope. Everything. Follow me on Instagram. The Dante Nero. GYBB, get your balls back. BABB, be a better bitch. WWDD, what would Dante do? The Sexual Revolution is being podcasted. We're getting ready to relaunch. Keep watching for that. Don't forget the one-on-one consultations. And, man, I love y'all. If you like what we're doing, tell a friend, and we are out.